Okay, Stewart, we need to start planning a paper on public libraries. Have you thought of an angle yet? Well, there's so much we could look into how libraries have changed over the centuries, for instance, or how different countries organize them. What do you think, Shadi? Maybe we should concentrate on this country and try to relate the changes in libraries to external developments that we found that far more can written than a century ago, and that the local population may speak lots of different languages. We could include something about the changes in the sort of funding too. Yes, but remember, we were only supposed to write a short paper, so it's probably best if we don't go into funding in any detail. Right, well, shall we just brainstorm a few ideas to get started? Okay, we obviously need to look at the impact of new technology, particularly the internet. Now the books have been digitalized. People can access them from their work computer at home, and if everyone does not libraries, we could absolutely yes, but the digitalized books that are available online for free are mostly out of copyright, and they and copyright in this country lasts for 70 years after the author dies. So you don't find the latest bestseller or up-to-date information. That's an important part. Anyway, I find it hard to concentrate when I'm reading a long text on a screen. I'd much rather read a physical book, and it takes longer to read on a screen. I prefer it. I suppose it's just a personal preference. I expect that libraries will go on evolving in the next few years. Some have already become centers where community activities take place, like local club meeting there. I think that become even more common. I'd like to think so, and that they still be serving the traditional function, but I'm not so sure. There are financial implications after all. What I'm afraid will happen is that books and magazines will all disappear, and they'll just be lost and lost a computer. They won't look anything like the libraries we used to. We see. I just have an idea. We make an in-depth study about local public libraries and background to our paper. Does that be interesting interest or source of resource? Let's make a list of possible things we could ask about. We work out some sort of structure. For instance, we could interview some of the staff and find out whether the library has its own right budget, or if that's controlled by the local council, and that's their politics. And I know they don't allow vote, but I'd love to find out a type of noise they plan. There's always seems to be a lot of talking, but never music. I don't know if that's a policy or it just happens. I often wondered. Then there are things like how the library is affected by employment laws. I suppose there are rules about working hours, facilities for staff, and so on. Right? Then there are other issues relating to the design of the building and how customers use it, like the measures that the library take to ensure the safety. They need to floor conveying that are slippery and emergencies exist. For instance, in another things, there's the question of the kind of insurance the library needs to have, and in case anyone gets injured. Yes, that's something else to find out. You know something I often wondered, what's that? Well, they got an achieved of local newspapers doing practice. Well, need to explain what the theory of a well-known politician from the late 19th century. I wonder why it's there. Do you know what his nation was done this era? No idea. Let's add it to our list of things to find out. Oh, I just thought, people might ask in the library about local organizations like sports clubs. Well, I wonder if they keep a database or whether they just look online. But I quite fancy finding out what the difference are between a library that's open to the public and one that's part of museum. For example, they must be very different. Then something else to know is